Hello, my name is Joshua Keith, and this is theburningcoal.com, a website dedicated to God's glory, His grace, and our response to it. Today we're going to do a Monday motivation talking about the fact that we need to be loving. Now, when we look at this, it's important to go back to a conversation that Jesus has near the end of his life. Different Pharisees and Sadducees are testing Jesus, trying to trip him up and get him to lose favor with the people. And so someone comes to Jesus and they ask him, what is the greatest command? And Jesus does not just give the first greatest command, but he actually gives two. And he being Jesus, said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. So we see here that these are the two most important things that Jesus has to say. And the reason why is because everything about the law is about loving God and loving others. Even when you look at the Ten Commandments, which they would have been arguing about in this particular instance, you see that the first four commands are primarily about man loving God, each one of us as individuals showing him love, honor, and reverence in what we do. And then you see in the next six how we love our neighbors as ourselves with the actions that we take. And so it's important for us as we go throughout this next week to ask ourselves, are we loving people? In fact, as we go through this week and we're doing our day-to-day actions, are people going to know that we love God? Are they going to see us as respecting what God would want us to do in our lives, honoring His commandments, obeying the things that He has laid down for us? Or instead, do they see us have a rebellious attitude, one of rejection, one of pride, where we feel that we know better than God, and really God is lucky to have a relationship with us and not the other way around? Because if we are people who are love God, then those closest to us, those who see our day-to-day interactions, they're going to see people who are focused on giving God glory, giving God praise, both in their words and in their actions. And so we should be people who are exhibiting this love for God. But on top of that, we should also be exhibiting love for those around you. Thinking about how God's law comes into play, again, most of it is about respecting Him, but also it's about respecting and loving those around us. It's not very loving to be lying or gossiping, to speak slander, to talk in wrath. It's not very loving to steal from those around us. It's not very loving to covet, to want things that aren't ours. And so when you look at both the old law and the new law, what we see is that when God made commands, He didn't make them to make our lives miserable. He didn't give us these commands so that we just couldn't have any fun. But it was about showing love and respect and honor, not just to Him, but to those that are around us. And again, we need to ask ourselves this week, are those who are around us, do they see us as loving? Would they view our actions towards them as showing love the way that God would? Or do we wind up being selfish? Do we wind up putting ourselves first, our own needs first, instead of being a servant to those around us? God exhibited love towards us by showing us an example of being servants, of not trying to take advantage, but instead of giving great gifts. We need to be loving in such a way that people know that we love God and that we love those around us. I hope this lesson blesses you in your walk in His kingdom.